Uh, KECO is in the middle of, I think his flight's delayed, so he's trying to make it on, but he's gonna be late, a little late. Sorry, one second. This is like, it's our last one for a while. How you doing, Ben?
Doing good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you able to link up with Chris or have your guy link up with Chris at all?
Yeah, I passed his info along to them. I haven't heard an update yet on
Okay.
how it's going, but
Nice.
yeah, thanks
I'll
for
follow up with
diving
Chris.
into that.
No, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anytime. That's what we're here for, man. We're
Yeah, I was
deals
like,
done.
oh man, Corey might know something about this, or he'll know somebody who would. The
Yeah,
worst
if I
feeling having a
don't,
deal blow up in underwriting.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. Hopefully they figure that out. But if I don't, then I probably know somebody like Alex knows everyone. So and that's what I like with this call too. I started to realize that there's not much problems I think that we can't, solve together. There's a lot of highly capable people here. So that come on usually. Okay. Well, we're gonna just run this normal, like a regular call, and then maybe towards the end, I just want to share a little bit about like what we have going on, what we're doing, and talk about our company, KECO Capital, too, because I think a lot, we don't really talk about what we're all about, our company, and I think it's special because over the last few years we've started to develop it and start to understand like what we have in front of us. So, but why don't we just start out? Does anybody need anything? Leads, needs, good deeds? I see Tammy on. Hi, Tammy.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, how you guys? I'm sorry I'm driving and it won't let me put my video on. So I'm just gonna keep my speaker up. But hi, I miss you guys so much. I've been running around the country. But anyway, it's all about everyone here. So good to see you, Corey, and everybody else. Aloha.
Aloha, happy Aloha Friday, Tammy.
Thank you. Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Um, Man, I swear it was last year was Memorial Weekend. I I don't know why I remember last year's Memorial Weekend so clearly, but time just flies. So like that's why every morning I like sometimes you can get sucked into the monotonous, the monotonous of the day. And that is a slow killer towards progress if we drown in it. But it's good to have you on, Tammy. I don't know if you heard yet. I don't know if you're on the last call, but we're gonna be taking a break. I don't know, for how long, but just because we have so much going on right now, and I'm gonna share a little bit about it, about what we have at the end. But for now, we're just going over leads, needs, and good deeds. If anybody has anything from last week.
I know we sort of touched on it a little bit already, but I just wanted to give you, Corey, and Chris Allen, who's not here but is amazing, a shout out for coming to the assistance of an agent friend of mine who had a deal kind of blow up in underwriting. So it's great to
Yeah,
have such an awesome network of resources of creative and intelligent people to help in these kind of weird situations. So thanks for
oh
being a
yeah,
legend
absolutely.
and getting a response to me extremely quick, late in the evening, at least for me. So that was very much appreciated. And even if it doesn't work out, my friend was incredibly appreciative to you
Oh,
guys and just to have kind of a helping hand when the times are tough.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for that. Of course, that's what we're here for. Like and I like to know that, we lean on you guys a lot too. And I'm gonna talk about this a little later, but like this call has done so much for me. Like I have to think back and really try to grab and grasp in a way that I can communicate like how this call has benefited me. I know has benefited KECO tremendously and our entire team. So no, we appreciate it. You guys still, show up. Like 4 years later, it's just meant to be like a kind of a call that we all get together, which it was. Um, but it became so much more because I've met like lifelong friends and partners, like yourself, just not in person yet, Ben. It will one day soon.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Anybody got anything? Anything on the line? Jake, I spoke to Kai too, so I told him keep me updated. Perhaps maybe, if there's no other options, we can try to see what we can do.
Right on, Corey. Yeah, it's awesome.
Um, okay, well, looks like we're everybody's pretty solid. I see Keone coming on. Here's Mike Yamamoto. What's up, guys? We're just in the middle of Leeds Needs Good Deeds. Last one for a while, I think. But we'll be heading into other avenues to meet up because we're never gonna. Oh, Richie, what's up, bro? Where you guys at? A project? Yeah, nice.
Project. I heard that this was the last one.
I don't want to say last one. It's just we're gonna take a break. But I don't know if we do calls again, if it's gonna be this format, if it's gonna be, I don't know, So but one thing's for sure, we're gonna stay close to the community, or right, and yeah, maybe we'll do like pop-up calls to see if everybody, just to check in with and see how everyone's doing and what everyone's working on and stuff. But yeah, thanks for jumping on. We're just talking about what you guys got. Any leads, needs, good deeds?
No, nothing right now.
I have a need, a question.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Hey, when we fill out permits and they ask you for type of construction, I'm just doing a pavilion and I don't know how to answer that for my type of construction. Does anybody have any idea? It says it's types of construction. That's what it says on my permitting, or my application.
Is it, I mean, what are the questions above it and below it, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
What are the questions above that question and below it, just for a little context as to why they're asking?
It says residential, commercial, but mine is housing. I'm sorry, I don't have my computer in front of me to read to you, but when it's asking me about types of construction, it wants to know about sprinkler systems, it wants to know about, and it's all letters and numbers down the whole list. And I don't have any idea what any of that means.
Some of that might be the phases of construction. So like electrical, depending on what you're doing, there's different phases. So there'll be numbers and letter combinations. Like if you're adding solar, that has a designated number and letter designation. Because I don't know what you're looking at, I can help you offline if you want.
Okay.
Maybe
You know what? Yeah, I'm
is
getting
that
ready
something
to.
you can share, Tammy, to Layla?
You know what, Layla? Can I reach out to you as soon as I part or after the coffee talk today? I'm driving right now, but if you just take, I was actually going to go to the planning department this morning here on Maui and ask them about it because I don't understand it. So.
If you were already planning on doing that, I would go there first, and then if you still have questions, I'll be happy to help. But
Layla's got a
I think
flight.
it's best if you go.
I think you have a flight.
Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate you guys just listen to what I had to say. I'm sorry I can't present it to us. But I always appreciate the help.
No, of course, Tammy. And I guess maybe, I mean, you should run it past your contractor too.
Yeah.
They might be able to help.
He doesn't understand it either.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go down for sure.
And it might also be on your plan notes. Usually when they call out details in the plan, sometimes they'll reference that, those phases. But after you go to the planning department, if you still have any questions, I'll be happy to look over it for you. And then we can.
Layla, you've always been so helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Layla. Thanks, Tammy. I'm guessing that's for your project, right, Tammy? The post office?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, the post
Interesting.
office. The post office box, it's just an annex. And it's going to be just a pavilion.
Right.
So it's all open air, cement slabs, cinder block pillars, trusses, roof, and solar.
Did you need us, did your contractor, do they need a specific license for that?
Yeah, he's got a license, but neither one of us understand the structure of this page for the application. It says structural type, and then because it wants you to add sprinklers in or I don't understand the numbers of the letters. Neither does he, but I guess the biggest confusion is because I went and researched what each one of them was, and nothing pertains to what I'm building.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's pretty unique, that's why. So I would probably go talk to them down there.
Yeah, I figured
Sure.
that's my bet. Yeah, that's on my schedule this morning. But thank you for your help. You guys have always been a joy, and I'm really going to miss this on Friday mornings. But
Yeah.
I know where to find.
Yeah, we'll still be around.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Layla.
Yeah. Go get them, Tammy. Okay, does anybody else have anything? And it doesn't have to be Lee's needs good, anything to share too. Just for the first half of our call here.
I would just like to give a shout out to Cameron because he's on this call. And what he's doing, like becoming a contractor for investors. And like, it's so helpful to have somebody who really understands our space and our goals. So thank you, Fiona, for filling that need.
Yeah, we're just trying, man. You know, I mean, we're not the best, but ought to be.
I love that. I love that.
Sure, it's just a lot of frustration in our community, and I get it, man. Not even bashing contractors, but I think just understanding the way we operate, the way we think, beyond the budget, it's like the disco side. Yeah, like, man, timing is everything. You know, like, can we actually, what do we need to do to get that ARV? And like, in my brain, unless you guys know contractors out there, they don't think that way. Because it's just like, you tell me what you like, and that's what we're gonna do. Like, oh, they know what you want? Oh, then that's a change order. But it's like, we're always constantly talking about like, you sure you want to do that? Even though it might be more money, it's like, do you need to do that? Because that's not adding any value. If you do an appraisal value, that's just more for like aesthetic purposes. That's because you want that. But like, we're on a budget. Do you really need that? Because that's not gonna add value. Or is it? Either way, that's the conversations that we have because we are investors first. So
That's
thank
huge.
you. We're trying. We're getting better and improving every day.
Oh, that's huge. Like little things like that it's a huge, benefit. Yeah. Because I feel like a podcast coming on called Beyond the Budget with you guys. Because construction, I bet there's not many, I don't know if there are any podcasts out there with a crew like you guys talking about the, construction, but coming from the real estate investors angle where timelines matter, budget matters, design now today matters. Before when we started, never really designed, you just fix the house and you don't got to put fancy accent wall or even stage it. We never even really used to stage the properties.
Yeah.
Now today, you got it, right? So like,
I think it's just understanding all the sequences, all the phases, even though that's typical, it's like, okay, for us, it's the education part, like, especially with a lot of new investors. That's why we preach this, because a lot of people's first deal becomes their last. They get told an actual specific budget, then all of a sudden it gets blown out of the water because they didn't know what they didn't know. So we try to do our best to go over everything upfront. And then that way you never have to come back. Yeah, kind of like what we're doing with Richie right now. He's super seasoned, so he knows what he wants. Like, yep, this is what I want. But it's like, we're so used to even you, Corey, like, we want to be there, but it's like, we're like one-stop shop. Like, you know, just, you don't need to do that. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, we'll give you updated photos. We keep updated. As long as the money can keep flowing on the draws, we'll even handle the draw process. We'll take all of the photos because we project manage. Even if you're the owner, we have that in shop. So it's not even, you know, pushing the company. It's like, that's the way an investor mind is. It's like all of the things that we're doing on a project. Like, now I got one. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to be there every single goddamn day. No, it's not. Go find another deal. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Acquisitions, fill the pipeline. You know, let's get another one. Not stuck on the job, project managing, all of these things. Like, yeah, we got that. We're good.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I keep thinking now too. I was like, oh, we should talk more about this. You know, like maybe in another week. It's like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, we're just not gonna be another week. But whatever we do, bro, I want to be kept up. You know, I want to be kept up to date with what you guys are building out there because I don't. It's a necessary need for sure. I'm sure you got stories already. Thank you, Keone, by the way, because like Keone, you know, and Justin, and they've been helping us, you know, and helping me with my house last minute. And so I appreciate it, bro. And you know, I was out of town, Layla was out of town. So, but yeah. Oh, it's so nice to you know have someone you can trust on that side. It's very hard to find contractors, not because, and what I found is not because like all contractors, you know, everybody wants to do a good job. Nobody wants to let anyone down. Nobody wants to go over budget or, you know, miss timelines. But when you're in the thick of it, you know, things change. It's very dynamic, you know, situations, you know, change and you have to pivot. So like you can't assume a contractor whose job is just to fix the house has that skill set or awareness that can make, you know, that can work through the puzzle that house flipping pretty much is. Every time you buy a new house, it's a new puzzle. And even the small, like the benefit of Keone mentioning that, you know, like, or just putting it out there, do you really want to fix this or add this? Because it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna increase the appraisal value or the resale value, right? And like an average contractor would not ask that question, be like, okay, you know, like it's gonna be this much more, or they're not gonna question, right? But I think we need that. We need accountability and we need people to play devil's advocate sometimes, right?
But I get it too, right? Because people are watching other people, whether it's online or on TV, and they see some crazy accent wall, and like, when I do a flip, I want to do something like that, and that's cool. But if you're already on a tight budget, is that going to add value, or is that just because that's the designer in you? You know, at the end of the day, like, our job is to sell houses. If you're trying to push the limit, then maybe don't do that accent wall. Maybe we do something else that'll add value. Yeah, these are the conversations that, you know, I mean, as an investor, that's the mindset that we always want to make sure we're having these conversations, and not just like, oh, up to you. Okay, yeah, just put them in and we do it for you. You know, it's like, is it worth that extra time, that extra money? Is it gonna push that ARV up? Those are the questions that we always need to be looking out for each other. Yeah.
Yep. And that's usually where like the communication or the conflict of interest kind of collides with the contractors and investors, right? The investors might want to change something. It's an added thing now, change order for the contractor. Maybe they're wondering why, and maybe they shouldn't even be doing it in the first place. Maybe it's not worth it. You know, it's like, and you're not going to get extra value out of it. So I think that's a huge benefit. Just knowing, you know, it's like, yeah, construction for investors, by investors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Well, we're rooting for you, Bat, and we always support. So
Yeah, like,
for sure. Anybody got projects coming up? Yeah, hit up Keone. Are you, so right now it's just what, Oahu? Just Oahu?
yeah, we just actually got people asking us for Big Island and stuff like that. But again, we understand that we have the bandwidth, but quality is the number one thing. My biggest thing is because we from here, we're putting our own family, not just local families, but somehow we all related, right? So it's like the integrity of making sure that the quality is there, not just for the money, but the more. So like, we're pushing the bandwidth right now, like, you know, and that's a good thing. We're testing it out. First we said 5. Then I said, like, you know what, 10 is the limit. Because even if you can do that much, now, are you making other people's projects suffer?
Right.
You know, because again, I just said timelines. So we got to make sure, and we're still working all of these things out, right? Like as we keep pushing that and taking on projects, is it suffering and creating, is the brand taking a hit? Because now, like, we want to make sure reputation is king. You know, that's how we get word out. Not so much the marketing, but it's like our community, the Coconut Wireless is so strong, especially in our investor community, that if you're doing solid job, the thing will get out. If you're doing shitty job, we'll go out even faster. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, use those guys, man. They still got to work on their shit, and I'm okay with that. But that's
Mhm.
why I'm very conscious of when people are saying like, oh, you can take on another job. We could. Tell us about the job though. You know, when is your timeline? When are you coming out? You know, like all of these things we're trying to map out on the calendar to see, are we able to keep moving guys, or is it like we're still going to be stuck? We can't move that team right there just yet. So again, I mean, that's all getting into
Huge. That's huge though. Because like you,
something that and not just take jobs just to take jobs.
yep.
You
Because
want
you
to
have
get out of the
to,
job just as much as the investor wants to get out of the job, but not just to get out of it with quality. Yeah, because that's our stamp on the project.
love it. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's huge. It's huge. You have to, I always thought that, and in fact, Layla and I were just talking about this, is like, because we're building teams, you know, like Vegas is going to be a market that we're going to be in. And that's like the last, like that's the piece of the puzzle where I'm a little nervous, you know, it's just like the construction side. And then part of it is like I want to know that person's back office. Who's the back office person? You know, who's keeping the shit together? Because I don't want the rob Peter, pay Paul anymore. You know, like we've all been through that. These contractors, they take on all kind of jobs, right? And they fall behind and they gotta rob Peter, pay Paul, and then they get into big trouble. And then the investor gets into big trouble too, right? Because they're like, where's my money?
The contractors, for the most part, the smaller ones especially, they're really good at what they do, but they're not business people.
Yeah.
They think they are because they own their own business, but they're just good craftsmen and not necessarily on the business side.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need that back office person. A lot of them don't have those or can't afford those.
Yep. In fact, like the GC, I mean, you definitely want to meet him. You definitely need to know that he's in control, you know, of the crew. And but it's almost just as important to know the back office person, like who's keeping all the things organized, the Gantt charts, the schedules, you know, all that. Now I know we got to check that box at least, right? Like, how are you managing the deal flow? How are you managing timelines and budgets? Like, it cannot just be one GC guy, right? Because there is no way you can hold the line with the crew in the field and then the back office too. Like, that's where I think construction like guys get lost in it, is they'll be really good, but they can't scale because they don't have the back office set up. So
And I think that's the word, bro. Like, you gotta be cautious of scaling. So when you tell me, are you only on Oahu? The answer is yes. Because once you go to another island, like, wow, how many projects you've done already on the island, because you think you have a system, but that's a whole different place now, right? Whatever island it is, we're not even going out of state, you know, like we're just staying within our local community right now because this is our niche. Yeah. So when you scale too fast, we're still in our growing pains right now. You know, like that's why we love feedback. You know, I love honest feedback because, like I said, we're not the best, but hard to beat. But it's like, man, I'm very open, I'm very transparent, and I love the feedback, like, because this is our community. So we take care of our community. And if we messing up, let me know, because we will fix it, you know. But it comes down to what you said. It's the 3 C's. It's crystal clear. You know, I don't know everything. I'm trying to get better. We're trying to create systems, processes. You know, we have SOPs in place, but it's a case by case with every deal. Yeah. So like knowing those things and knowing that I do not know everything, and I'm very open to listening to only get better. I think that's growth. You know, I think that's what we're trying to do. If you think you know everything, you're not going to last, though.
Yeah. Yep. That's why Jeff Bezos, the culture he said at Amazon was every day is day one, right? And like, because he said like the moment you stop treating it as day one and you lose that fire, the purpose, and you get lost in the monotony of the days and the weeks and the months, then you have to battle complacency. And he says when a company becomes complacent or its people become complacent, then it starts to die, right? Like that's like where the tipping point. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Blackberry that
You
came
told
out.
me about it.
Yeah. So we did kind of like book clubs, we'll do like a movie, like if there's a good movie that somebody watched on our team, we're trying to be more intentional about like, sharing and being thought leaders with each other to talk about it. And one of the questions was more like, when was the turning point for the company? When did BlackBerry, what was the spark of its demise as a cellular phone company, right? What was it? And there's many different things. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but it reminded me a lot of this and what we go through at KECO Capital. Like we've been through. This is our 5th year now, and been through. I feel like a couple market cycles, even though we haven't really had a true market cycle turn. Just COVID, the sharp downturn with COVID, everything kind of stopped, and then we rebooting from COVID, and then everything taking off in 2021 and having to go through that market, and then 2022 again slow down and pause because of interest rate hikes. So it's like you said, through that you learn, and I think if anybody's saying they are the best or they do the most, like they're definitely not the best and they definitely don't do the most probably. And so because in order to do so, you got to go through all the failures, like, and I respect that. That was one thing that I had to learn. I'm still learning is you got to sharpen the axe sometimes first. The ready fire aim, the fire ready aim method, like I would, it's good, but you gotta be careful with it, because we've done that, oh, here comes Layla. I'm a fire ready aim type of guy. I'm calculated, but I'm fire ready aim. Kiko's even worse than me. Alex is worse than me. And so that's why we need Layla. But like when it's time to scale, when everything kind of everything's never gonna feel right. Anyways, that's what I've learned. Given up on that. In business, it's always gonna feel like it's not enough yet. We need to tighten that corner. We need to shore up this. We need to hire this, right? We need to get the people to do this. It's constantly chasing. But when you are ready for scale, like we have a couple times, like I've come to accept the fact that you are gonna break some shit, and if anything, like sometimes you even have to encourage that. We encourage it sometimes to our guys, like, let's break some shit. We're not gonna know unless we find out. So let's just go, and I'd like to think like our company is strong enough that not one mistake will take it out. So let's go break some stuff and learn and get better. And but you also got to be careful with that too. You'll break some stuff for sure. And we have, and like we're not perfect, right? And
I
but
think it really comes down to the art of being able to really listen though to our clients, like whoever we're working with, right? Whether it's in your line of work, like knowing like what are they needing, what are they working for? Like we are the SMEs, right? We are the subject matter experts. But in our business on the construction side that I'm learning, it's like you have different levels. Like Richie is very high level. He's seasoned, but then all the guys coming in, but like we are the subject matter expert and we just basically are in the driver's seat and making sure that we're constantly listening to what are the needs. As an investor, we know what the end goal is, but like, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to be a designer? Are you wanting to show your, like, I really want to be involved in the process, or like, no, man, I mean, I'm good. So like, that's the part of listening, right? Same like you guys, it's like, yeah, like, yeah, give me the terms, give me the rate and whatnot. Like, but I want to do this. I want you guys to be my partner. How do we work with you guys? And it's like, are we really listening to the clients and their needs? I mean, like, sometimes people don't even listen. They're just not, because this is just like repetition. Yeah, same thing in and out. I think we're trying to build relationships, right? That's the culture. That's what we're trying to build. And I think it comes down to literally those foundational stuff, numbers and all of those things. Yes, we have goals, but it always comes down. And I think that's where the reputation kind of grows. For us,
Yeah.
it's like, we want to do a good job. Every single person is all treated the same for the most part, right? Yeah, everybody's VIP. And I think that's how we grow, grassroots style. That's at least the way it's always worked for me. You know, you really listen, and then it just kind of just goes out there. That echo chamber is like I said, coconut wireless spreads super fast, and we've been blessed. But I do not count my chickens because shit can hit the wire from van real quick. You know, so I'm always like ears to the grindstone, boots on the ground. And that's why we're always there listening, and I'm always open. Like shit, we're not perfect, man. Yeah.
What you guys are you guys taking on new jobs or no?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Okay, good.
That's why we're very conscious, like, where are we at? How's the systems going? How's everything going? You know, like all of the movement. And I'm the one that's actually monitoring that along with, you know, my partners and whatnot, just making sure that we good if we are able to take on more, you know, pushing that bandwidth. Because we do have the manpower, the bandwidth to do it. Doesn't mean we should do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a lesson I learned. Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. But everybody only looks at the dollar bill like, holy shit, that's a huge project. You know, you could still refer it. You could refer it out, that's why it's like collaboration over competition, you know, that's how you create, you know, like everybody all in one, you know, canoe paddling in the same direction. That's what it's all about. You spread the wealth, man.
Oh, I love that. And you're building the same as us. Actually, this is a perfect segue too. Unless anybody has anything else that they need. Thank you, Keone. We're by your side, bro. That's not an easy field to take on too. Like, so yeah, it takes a lot of courage. But we got you, well, and that's a good segue too. I wanted to just talk about, well, one, plans moving forward, because we're not going anywhere. And I still want to stay in touch with all of you guys. And what we plan, I think, just right now, we just need to take some time because like there's so much going on, which I'll jump into. But I think what I wanted like is we'll probably do every now and then like a pop-up coffee talk. Maybe we won't call it coffee talk, but just huddle with everybody, with friends, you know, because I get so much value. I like to hear what Keone's doing, Tammy's project, you know, and like, so I don't want to lose this at all. So we're still gonna be around. But we've hit so many just opportunities and things coming our way at the same time, you know, from our side with KECO Capital and with all the ventures that, you know, we're a part of that KECO kind of spearheads that mainly have to do with stuff that we don't talk about here. So there's so much that we don't even really get to dive into and learn from, but we're gonna try to create something. I'm thinking like a podcast of some sort, but I like the live feature. So if anybody has ideas or would like to be a part of a brainstorming session or something like that, then I'll just throw your name in that hat in the chat below. We'll take note. Sheena, if you can help us take note. Then you know we'll reach out, you know, when we're trying to plan, you know, what's next, and then maybe you guys can be a part of it too. But mainly I just wanted to thank everybody, you know, for coming on. I know some may have come on like recently, some may have joined us like 4 years ago when we started this thing after COVID. We never planned for it to be like a 4-year thing or anything. Honestly, it was just to get us through COVID. And but I'm happy it was, and it was hard to kind of put a pause on it even. Because it's after 4 years of like consistently Fridays and stuff, it's you kind of baked into it, right? It's part of you, you know. And but I would like to thank, you know, all of you guys because I've learned so much. And I feel that I've gotten so much more out of this than what I've given a lot of times, to be honest, because it's helped me process my thoughts, helped me be more intentional with my words, knowing that people are listening, knowing that we're recording it and it's going to be put up, you know, on YouTube, and we're probably not going to take it down. So it's made me be more careful, made me have to think truly and live in a place of honesty and transparency, I guess. As much as I can, because some things we can't talk about legally. We're under NDAs or NCNDs. But what I can, and I stretch that line pretty far, honestly. But what we can share, I'm gonna share it because I know, just like one of our recent mentors, who's mentoring me, Alex, and Layla, is Isaac. He said that if you guys are stronger, that means we're stronger. We're partners, right? And so that, I feel, is everything. I feel I've gotten stronger by showing up Fridays and talking with you guys and processing thoughts, processing issues or news or current events going on. So I just want to say thank you, for coming, and that it's not just me on the call, or me and KECO, or our team. So I appreciate you guys taking the time, and diving into, like, the reason why we're kind of taking a break is because we have so much opportunities. We do have some issues that we have to tackle too, and like any business, but for the most part, it's opportunity. And one thing for our company is, we're careful to, like you said, Keone, because we know that our main focus, has to be closing deals, growing the company, building properly. But at the same time, when you're in a business like construction or like loan origination, or even being a realtor, right, or even a title officer, you're in the game. You're still in the crossfires. And in private lending, we are deep in the game because we know everything, and kind of across the nation, we can see trends, we can see what other developers are doing, what investors are doing here in this market. We know who's ahead, who's not, and who's stuck in debt and who's not, who's over leveraged and who's not. And watching all that happen, you start to realize you're in the thick of everything, right? And that goes with realtors too. It just depends on how much do you want to be in the thick of it, right? But because we are, and we're constantly go-givers and with an abundant mindset, opportunities just come, right? Because people want to work with those they know, like, and trust. So if you focus on building the KLT principle with every relationship that you have, opportunities are just imminent. They're bound to happen. And then you can pick and choose, right? And over the years, there have been many opportunities that have come by that we've said no to. Maybe one, it wasn't, it's a short-term play, it's short-term, and it's in our short-term right now. We have enough short-term plays going on, with house flipping and like building our company day by day. So we're very picky too, but recently we've just had so much more opportunities. We have world-class mentorship, I feel, now, and we're mentored by the best. It's not just me, it's Layla and Alex and our entire company, that's going to get to benefit from it. But with that type of mentorship, there comes accountability, and accountability takes a lot of effort and time. So even though it's a mentorship and it's more to guide us, like, if we want to really get everything out of it, we have to dive all in, and it's going to be a lot of accountability. So putting ourselves back into, the number 2 spot, which I feel really is truly leadership, is being the number 2, not being the guy calling the shots. You're the guy serving, feeling any need necessary that you see without being told sometimes. That's leadership, and if you play a good number 2 for anyone, your family, your friends, you will be calling the shots, okay? Because people trust you, and if you lead with a pure heart and you're open, transparent, and all of that, you will lead from the front. But I think you also find that perhaps that may not be where you want to be, So that's what we're all learning. And I've learned that, yeah, I love being a number 2. That's my nature. I don't want to be the guy calling the shots. I want it to be collective. I want it that if we make a bad mistake, we made a bad mistake, not me or anyone individual, right? So that's that's the mission. I don't want to I want to be kingmaker. I don't want to be king. right? And that is my purpose, and that is the other opportunity that has been in my life for the last 5 years, going on 5 years, is what we are doing at KECO Capital. And I wanted to take this time just to, tell our peers, our friends, like who we are, like what my purpose is, because it's so special, I feel, except we don't get the time to talk about it really, because we share what's tangible in the moment on these calls. But my building out the KECO Capital has totally changed my life, actually. I found new purpose, and that purpose is in people and educating. Oh, fuck, I hope I don't get emotional. So my purpose now is to stay close to our guys, our team, especially as we're growing and we're hitting levels we've never hit before. And we're competing on a national scale against the best in the nation, who have substantially more resources than us, right? And a substantially more knowledge and experience than us. So we have a mountain to climb. Fortunately, I feel though that we are playing a different game. And this is what I'm starting to realize. And I realized even in investing in real estate, like we are never competing. We're only competing with ourselves, right? And so if that's the case, then every day is like a new game, that we have to win. And as a team pursuing, greatness, I realized that my purpose is watching that, watching it happen, watching, maybe people who knew nothing about real estate or finance and having to bang their head against the wall and develop all of the intangible characteristics, the intangible qualities that one needs to succeed in business, I feel, and in life, to be honest. It's a good training, for us. So, and then I started to realize that KECO Capital and private lending, the private lending industry, is the perfect vehicle to help us in this vision of ours, right? And so our mission for KECO Capital to the world is to provide institutional grade, high leverage capital to real estate investors so that they can scale their businesses. They can scale their operations so they can flip more houses, or, which provides more jobs, more business for many professions like escrow agents, realtors, right? And private lenders, contractors. So we know how much good that does when we can help, provide scale for investors when it's appropriate. That's our mission, and especially specifically in Hawaii, where it's high dollar, it's very expensive to flip a house. We didn't just need leverage and money, we needed institutional grade leverage, money that's flexible, money that is catered towards what we really need it for, right? Like highest leverage on the front, on the purchase, and funding our renovation, hopefully, wrapping interest payments so we don't have to come out of pocket. The less we come out of pocket, the more deals that we can do, we can scale. So that was the mission. To me, I feel like we have an external mission to the world and an internal mission to ourselves, which is my purpose. And my purpose is like, I'm chasing greatness, and if you're chasing greatness, then I'm your brother. And when I say chasing greatness, I mean like in every aspect possible. I want to be financially free. I want a legacy. I want to help change lives. I want someone to one day, say like, oh, that person helped me when no one else did. Or, so I want to be that guy. And not only that, now my purpose is I want those around me to be that person too, and but to become a person of influence or someone that is worthy of leadership, you have to earn it. It's just, you can't, it's not going to be handed to you. So leadership it just doesn't work that way. And what I found purpose is helping, I think, our team guide, each other, hold each other accountable to be great in every aspect that we can in our lives, right? And private lending is just what we do. And in the Go Giver, it says, you know, it's what you do, it's not who you are. You know, like who are you? That's more important. And it doesn't matter what you do, it matters who you are. And we tell this to our team is like, look, if the private lending industry exploded overnight, or if something, you know, if the industry just collapsed and there's no more private lending, you know, like, we're not done. We'll find something else, because it's not what we do, it's who we are as a company, as people, right? So that's why we will never lose. We cannot lose, because it's who we are. We're winners, you know, and it's not easy to develop a winner's mentality. Some people have been beat down by life. They've been beat down maybe by even their own parents, and they don't know. You know, maybe their parents are telling them, that's too risky, you can't do that, you're gonna do whatever. Life beat them down, right? Like sometimes. And they need guidance to learn how to win, how to be a winner, how to think like a winner, how to lead a team of winners. Like that's what we're chasing. That's what I'm chasing here. I don't care about the money. I closed many deals in my lifetime, you know, and so it doesn't tickle me anymore. But what really does is watching one of our guys, maybe not close a deal, watching them struggle, watching them try to figure it out, you know, and being there by their side through it, because we can't help them. You know, I wouldn't be doing them a service if I solved the problem for them. All I can do is be there to guide them. And usually the guiding is just words, you know, it's just because we know what to do. Like we all have the power to be great, you know, it's just, you need to find it and build that trust and that confidence. Sometimes it comes with experience, sometimes it comes with breaking shit, you know, which is why sometimes we have to encourage that. But that's my purpose. And that in of itself, honestly, takes up my entire life. Like I've sacrificed pretty much everything. You know, I've already told, you know, people are, like our team is just like, we're the most dangerous company in the industry. I can say that with confidence, and largely because of our purpose. And I know that I would give my life for this. I already have pretty much, you know, so there ain't much else to go. All we have to do is, you know, keep our head down and keep chasing greatness, and everything's going to work out. So that is one of the major things actually that's been taking up my time. And I really had to decide, you know, how are we going to navigate, you know, all these opportunities, right? Because we also, I mean, we have partnerships on the table in tokenizing real estate, which is going to be huge. And, you know, I've also been recently elected to the National Private Lenders Association Advisory Council. So there's 7 seats on the advisory council. And I was honored to be elected as one of the seats to represent small to mid-sized private lending companies across the nation. And the reason why I really have to, you know, our whole team actually has to dedicate a lot of time towards this is because the NPLA and the private lending industry is blazing a trail for all of us, real estate investors, you know, like even I think conventional mortgage brokers, because I think if we keep going the pace we're going, the private lending space, our space, will do more loans, even like more than the conventional side one day. You know, that's what I feel. Because the old tradition of banking is they're dinosaurs. Like we still have to go into the bank to go wire sometimes, you know, like, and lose like 3 hours of our day. And so it's going to change, and we're kind of at the forefront of it, I feel. Yeah. And that goes into tokenizing real estate too, because it's not just real estate. It's not just tangible assets tokenizing. It's the entire process, you know, like title, construction management that, you know, actually Alex was just talking about this morning. He put one of our guys in touch with who's, I think we brought him on, Brian Mingham. He's the CEO of CFSI Construction Management, but we brought him on, and we're trying to build the ecosphere for tokenizing real estate. Now, when I say we, I'm like the small, like we are the smallest player in this partnership. This is a big partnership. But there's we're in rooms that there's a lot of resources, and I know that one day, you know, because we just are who we are, we're good number twos, that we're gonna carry influence in these rooms because we know how. And the way you do that is you serve, you give everything, you know, you give your time, generosity, you give it all, and you will have influence. So we have that, and the private lending industry for us, it's so new. We're on the bottom that we can't lose. You know, we can't lose. The only way if we lose is if we cut corners or become complacent, because really the industry's about to take off, you know, I think in the next few years, and there'll be more money for all of us here, right? And I'm going to be sitting shoulder to shoulder with these people. So I asked, you know, like that, even though this isn't our last time, it's just our last coffee talk call, but please follow us, guys, and support us, you know, because we do loans, and that's what the world sees, but we're chasing greatness, you know, and that's every way possible. So not only do we ask to follow so that we can stay in touch, but I'm genuinely asking for accountability, you know, because I nothing's gonna get done. These are all just words if I'm not held accountable, if our team is not held accountable. And it's pretty bold to say that, you know, our vision, our mission for KECO Capital is to chase greatness, change lives, save lives. Like, that's pretty bold, you know, and but I think it's doable. We've already done it before, you know, and we just haven't scaled it yet. And I know that we're never gonna hit that unless I have real people next to me and our team, like all of us, our team, to give us true words, no matter how hard. I'm not afraid of hard words. I'm not afraid to give them. I'm not afraid to take them either. And I ask for that, you know, because like, yeah, if we're gonna be friends, you know, that means you're chasing greatness too, and that means that you can't be afraid to say necessary words to those you truly care about, you know. And I know for a fact that if I never opened my heart to and invited people to hold me accountable, I would not have accomplished some of the things I've accomplished already. And that's why I'm asking for more. And so at KECO Capital, we are truly changing lives. You know, we're providing an opportunity for people who are on the path and want to chase greatness with us to learn, you know. And it's the perfect tool because private, like, it's sales, and sales will teach everything. If sales will teach you everything you need to know to be a great entrepreneur, to be a great business person, because you have to learn, you develop so many characteristics for success, resilience. You gotta have courage, gotta be able to take criticism, or, you know, handle hard conversations. So you gotta be disciplined, everything. So sales is the perfect tool to help us with developing greatness in our company. And it's perfect because private lending, it's high ticket commissions on repeat, you know, with volume. Like if, you know, realtors, right? Like you're living deal by deal and client by client. You may not see that client for the next 5-7 years, unless you're one of the smart ones that are serving the investor community, because then you get residual, right? So but it's the perfect tool to help us develop as a company. And, you know, I wish Kikwa could have made it on, because he was going to talk about a lot of the things that, you know, we're working on his side, but maybe perhaps we'll save that for another time. But this is truly what we have. We're in a partnership with New Wealth as well in Seattle, and that's taking up a lot of his time. We're launching our Vegas office, which I invite everybody to, you know, once it's finished, we're gonna have a launch party. And that office there's so much opportunity from there, because we're going to do company acquisitions in Vegas. We're building a portfolio out there. We're going to build our team out there to do loans. And it's a licensing play for us, because it's hard to get your license in in Nevada, the state of Nevada, to close loans. You have to have a brick and mortar presence. You have to have an experienced NMLS licensed attendee. There's so much different things, but that's the beauty of it. You know, a lesson, you know, that was drilled into us when we started this company is from Marcus Aurelius' famous saying, right? What stands in the way becomes the way, or the obstacle in the way becomes the way. And it's shown itself time and time over and over again. Every time we think it's a disadvantage, we turn it into an advantage because we lean into it. You know, we don't run from it, a problem, right? And that's what we did. Like, we're 6 hours behind the East Coast for our guys in Hawaii. Like, we're 6 hours behind, so we just have to be up earlier. That's just the name of the game. But we turned that obstacle into the way for us, meaning like now it's a weapon for us, because we know that not many people are up that early, willing to be up that early and make the sacrifices the day before so that they can be up early working, chasing their dreams, chasing greatness, right? So it was a perfect filter. Now that I look at it, at first I was bummed about it. I was like, this sucks. Like, this is going to be really hard to compete. But now that I look at it, it's like, no, what a blessing. What a blessing. Because now we only have people who really want it, you know, to be by our side, people who are willing to chase greatness. We fly the farthest out of all the companies to these conferences, and we don't miss one. You know, we show up at every one, and it's noticed, you know, and it's also the way now because, you know, we'll be talking with somebody, oh, they'll be saying, oh, it was such a long flight to Atlantic City or Miami. He's like, oh, it always sets me back. And they're complaining. In my head, I'm like, okay, well, we win because one, we travel twice as far, and I'm here with a smile on my face, ready to do deals and make a difference, right? Like, that's the difference. Like, so we've been intentional from day one, and so it doesn't show itself. That's why, if only I wish I talked about it more of what I have on my plate. You know, we have guys on the team like Kane, Joe, who he's 19 years old. 5 days after his high school graduation, he was in Hawaii living, you know, with us, learning, you know, and he's got a story. He's primed for greatness. You know, Kane, highly disciplined. I've learned so much just from watching him move, you know, and we have special guys on our team that you guys don't know yet, that I want you guys to know, but I feel we're not ready yet. You know, there's still more greatness to pull out of all of us. But one day you'll see, and you're gonna hear their stories very soon, I feel. And like, now my purpose, like I said, it's not even, I don't even want to tell my story anymore. I want to tell their story. I want to hear them tell their stories. And that's my purpose, is to, as cliches and bold and that it sounds like, we're really saving lives and changing lives, you know, we have. And I want to continue to do so. And the vision for our internal vision for KECO Capital is the PayPal Mafia. And I think I've talked about this on this call before, but the PayPal Mafia is, you know, if you guys look it up, there's documentaries on YouTube, but it was built out by Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, and many people who were a part of that company, building that company, went on to change the world. You know, I mean, we all know Elon Musk with SpaceX and his, you know, reusable rockets. No one's ever done that before. He's done it, you know, and he's now battling X, which free speech, you know, and Tesla. And that's just him. There's Peter Thiel. He has all his companies. But the main point was, even down to the basic entry-level engineers that were there, the founding members of that company, after they sold to eBay for $1 billion or something, many of them went on to build world-changing businesses like YouTube, right? YouTube was built from former PayPal engineers, YouTube, and then they sold it to Google, right? YouTube, LinkedIn, Yelp. There's Palantir. That's Peter Thiel's company that people don't really talk about. It's a data company. So that's our vision for KECO Capital, is to build ourselves. We're using it as the launch pad. You know, it's not the forever home. This is the development. This is where we develop as entrepreneurs, as people. And then we're off into the world to do bigger and better things, make a bigger impact. And we'll be doing deals together. You know, my dream is that, you know, one day, you know, I got a big deal on the line or something and I can't take it down myself, and we call each other, right? And right now, the vision of KECO Capital, that's what I'm focusing on. Once we pass the first round, and we have a strong front line of guys who I feel they are kingmakers themselves, like, then I want to turn to community and let's do this together, you know. But right now there's hard enough to make this work. And, you know, I'm developing as a person who's trying to become someone that can lead at the highest level. And so I'm still learning too. And that's why we sought out world-class mentorship. That's who we are. I thank you guys for showing up every Friday, and I thank you guys for being friends and partners. And please follow us, like, stay in touch. This isn't over. Like, we're gonna do a lot of stuff, and we're gonna stay close to everybody here. So, but I just appreciate you guys listening to me tell, you know, who we are, what my new purpose is, what our vision is, and to ask that you guys all please hold us accountable. And whew, I'm an emotional guy, so I get emotional. I try to keep it together. But, you know, I had one more thing to say, but I don't need to say it. I need to keep this one tight. Now, I think I'll just leave with, I appreciate every single one of you guys as friends, as partners, in life and business. And I hope that you guys can stay close. We stay close to each other. We hold each other accountable. We will probably do like pop-up calls. It's just, I'm gonna miss everybody too much. So, you know, just stay on the lookout. And if anybody ever needs anything, then please call. No shame. You know, call, reach out, and you know, we'll get to work on something. So I love all you guys. Thank you for showing up these last 4 years, and go get them. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Happy Aloha Friday.
Thanks, guys.
Won't see you next week. Mwah. Love you guys.
Yeah,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.